Hi everybody and welcome back to Borderlands 3. My name is Mikey Dubs, and in today's Borderlands 3 video, we are going to be spending up some of the currency we've earned the last couple of videos, doing some slaughter shaft AFK farming with our Moes, and let's start with our vault card. We want to get ourselves a bird of prey for our flak. Right now our bird of prey is anointed with 115% bonus radiation when Gamma Burst is active. I would love to be able to get not only better parts, because my bird of prey isn't perfect by any means, but also potentially a different anointment on it. So I've got 4 chests available. Hopefully we can get up to 5 keys. If we get 5 keys, when we get our bird of prey, we'll switch over to our flak. If not, we're going to stay here and farm more iridium, farm more XP. So there's a lot riding on this. Let's open up some chests. Keys, keys, keys. 3 keys. Turn to vault. That's the best case scenario. So now we only need 1 more key. 1 key, perfect. Okay, so now we've got 5 keys. We've got a bunch of iridium for re-rolling on our Moes at least. So let's go ahead and check out which bird of prey we're gonna get. Reroll item parts. We just did it. Okay. Bird of prey. Let's see what kind of parts we get, what kind of anointment we get. After using attack command, gain lifesteal for a short time. 111,000 damage, 608. Let's check out these parts versus the ones that you can find online. Okay, so the body is always going to be the same. It looks like there's not going to be any variance in the body. So it's fire rate, damage, and reload time, right? The barrel can roll with 2 or 3 parts, and we only got 2. And it's damage, and crit damage. So unfortunately, we did not get every barrel accessory. We're going to be losing out on a little bit of crit damage. The magazine is the middle of the road magazine. It's not the 8, despite what it says here. It's actually going to be the 6, but it's not the 4. The bolt isn't a part. The scope, we got a scope accessory that gives us, it looks like, let's see, what time zoom is it? The time zoom should give us some more information. Scroll down until we can see the times zoom. It's going to be, doesn't say. So the different scopes have different stats on them. There's accuracy, damage, fire rate. So it doesn't look like we rolled the damage scope at all. So for stock, we also got, looks like the worst stock. And the foregrip is really, this is a really, unfortunately, kind of a really bad bird of prey, which is a little bit sad. I don't think we're going to be spending our iridium to reroll this one. But what we will spend iridium on is to go reroll our other sniper called the Unseen Threat that we farmed the other day on our flak. So let's first go ahead and go to our flak. Or maybe the Unseen, I'm not sure if it's in my inventory. Let's go to our other flak and make sure that the Unseen Threat is in our bank. Pick it up with our Moes, and then go to the anointment reroller. I'll see you guys there. Okay, so we're over on our flak now, and I'm realizing that my other bird of prey is 111,000 damage as well. So maybe I will anoint it, but what we want to do is go to our bank and put our Unseen Threat that we have in our backpack in the bank. So let's go ahead and do that. Where is our Unseen Threat? There it is. Very nice. And now we're going to go over to our Moes, and we're going to use the iridium that we just farmed to reroll. Oh, oops, daisy. Okay, so we're on our Moes. Let's go ahead and find that Unseen Threat that's in here. Click that bad boy up and head to the anointment reroller. Here we go. You don't have a ton of iridium, like 7,500, right? Is what we have. Yeah, 7.5K. Let's see if we can do this. Grab our Unseen Threats. Auto bear ammo regen, no thanks. How about flak gamma while Gamma Burst is active? Unseen Threat with weapon damage 150 over 90 seems okay, but let's X2 max corrosive. Really want Gamma Burst. There's URAD. Uh-oh. I'm out of iridiums. That is the tough part about it, is that you can reroll and reroll and reroll, and you know what? You might not ever get what you want. And you know what? I did to myself. So now I have this bird of prey and this unseen threat that are kind of unusable. Let's go ahead and throw them in the bank. And all that iridium we just saved up, it kind of goes, unfortunately, to waste. We figured that might happen, and that's okay. Okay, with that being said, that gives us time to go after another piece of gear that I've been meaning to farm for a while now, and that's going to be the Sandhawk, dropping from Katagawa on Promethea. So let's go over and head to Promethea, head to Atlas HQ, and then we are going to be climbing to the very top to farm Katagawa. He drops a Sandhawk. Hopefully we can one-shot him with our sniper. We're going to be on Mayhem 10, 11, and Katagawa, I believe, doesn't scale with Mayhem, so it should be a relatively easy one-shot. But the Sandhawk is a non-Jacob sniper that is actually pretty dang good, and it could be a really, really nice extra piece to my build. Do I have my EMP-45? I do. But for this, we just activate Gamma Burst, let our pet tank up everything, and we need to get to the very top of here. So I know there's a shortcut, but this is the way that I go. So I start off, go all the way to the right, the very end. Then right when I get to the very end, I turn right and the door's right there. There we go. And we just slide past all these creatures if they even spawn in. They're toboggan. Go. And we're going to go all the way up to fight Katagawa now that we're up here on top of the ramp. So the Sandhawk is a really nice sniper for, you know, max DPS, all that stuff that could rival a lot of what we are doing with the Jacob snipers, but maybe even better. You know, a lot of people have the Sandhawk ranked, you know, #1 sniper in the game. It's like one of the hotly contested #1 snipers, and I don't have a copy yet, and I've got all these cool snipers, but no Sandhawk. So I want to get up there, get myself maybe a couple different elements. I've got enough backpack space to cover, and try to go for a nice Sandhawk here. What weapon are we going to use? Tough to say. I kind of want to use a monocle and snowdrift into it, but it's going to be a tough shot. We have our toboggan. Let's see what we can do here. And I also put on the revolter for max one-shottage. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let's try this. Gamma burst. Slide. Take the shot. Okay, did we get the one shot? No, we didn't. I kind of want to reset and see. I want to be able to get this one shot. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it. I think it's possible. Maybe fadeaway. A fadeaway monocle could be a little bit better. Maybe a bird of prey is the way to go. Always try bird of prey. We have our revolter up. Oopsie daisy. There we go. Wait, no, that wasn't the real one. That's not real. Where's real lad? I can't be spending this much time per farm. Let's just get one farm done. Just takes one headshot. And let's go ahead and spend our guardian tokens. We play without guardian tokens on. Let's do critical damage. Critical damage. Reload speed, why not? Okay. Disable guardian rank, close. Okay, let's see. Give me a Sandhawk. First try. No Sandhawk. I probably should be schlutifying this. I don't know if the schluter does activate on this kill. But I was thinking I would need the toboggan, so I don't know. Let's get ourselves a nice Sandhawk. We don't have the iridium to augment it, or to change its anointment, but I would still like to get a max roll Sandhawk. Great. I swear we landed the shot. There. That was a little bit faster. Definitely faster. Okay. Look at that. No loot. No Sandhawk. But because it's a dedicated drop, I feel like I don't need to put on the Sandhawk or put on the Schluter. But also, we're not really worried about the loot covering up the floor that much. So why don't I try to put on the Schluter and see if we can still get a good one-shot off. Let's do a Ravaging Schluter. Should be all we need. Gamma Burst where he spawns in. There, got him. All it takes is really just one bullet. Really wonder if Schluter's gonna activate here. No, it definitely doesn't. So we don't need to put on Schluter, but instead we can put on something like a sure, why not? Toboggan gives us movement speed. Alright, quick game, start up again. So this is gonna be the farm. Sandhawk comes in, I think it only comes in elements, right? So what element would we be looking for? Number 1. Corrosive is good because it's flak. I would say, yeah, probably corrosive, radiation. One of each would be nice, honestly. Chew them to bits. Yeah, we can get the one shot with the Gamma Burst, honestly. It's probably going to be a little bit easier. Revolter Gamma Burst gets the job done. Is that our first Sandhawk? No, it's a Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. All right, so we get our Iridium from here and we move on. We do get a little bit of Iridium from doing these kinds of fights. I always find that when I do this kind of farming, I always end up super rich. Which, of course, I don't mind. But I end up spending it either by doing farms that require you to die, which takes a percentage of your money, or by just spamming respecs, which takes a bunch of your money, too. Slide down. We got to aim this Gamma Burst in the right spot. Right there. Boom. Later, kid. Okay. Beautiful. Go next. The Sandhawk it's a weapon that I personally didn't grab on my flak because I almost only used it in its fully automatic version, which is a super widespread, super high DPS, but burns through your ammo. It seems like the real secret of the Sandhawk is to use it in its semi-automatic mode, which really tightens that pellet spread and gives you ridiculous damage. So I'm excited to try it for that reason, and maybe it can even help me out with some bossing, which I do need some help with. No drop so far. And now that I have my Flesh Melter auto idol, I really am not looking for relics all that much. No, legendary relics. The Cut Purse launch pad is like the one I'm looking for the absolute most. And the Cut Purse rocket boots would be a close second. And they both drop from the same fight, the blue fire and red rain at the end of the Slaughter Star 3000. So it's like a really tough farm, but because they both spawn there, I'm kind of tempted to go there. Oh, whoa, whoa, don't step on top of that. Help me out. Cute. I'm kind of tempted to go back to Slaughter Star 3000 with my... Oh, that is a Rowan's Call dock. Very interesting. I swear this is a dedicated drop for the Rowan's Call. I get Rowan's Calls here. That's my first Rowan's Call came from this boss. I really do wonder if this is the dedicated drop source. I don't think it is on Loot Lemon, and Loot Lemons are never wrong, right? So okay. So I'm actually gonna look up the Sandhawk on Loot Lemon and see what like best parts would be. Not coming. Sand. What if I just type in sand? There we go. Sandhawk. if I go to parts, now I can see it looks like it has a lot of different parts it can roll with, so there's a pretty good chance that it doesn't roll perfect. But that's okay. If it does roll perfect, we'll be even happier about it. So. The Gamma Burst goes crazy. Oh, I can shoot him for some cash. Look at that. Boom. No leggy. Grab our cash and our iridium and move on. So I think what I might do is take this sniper build and bring it to the Slaughter Star 3000 and have some fun with it. But a big part of me also wants to diversify this flak build a little bit. What I mean by that is right now it's all snipers, which is fun. What is a nice complement to a sniper build? It's actually something like a Maggie or a pistol that can do a lot of damage, like something like the Unforgiven. Could be a great option, but I also want like a mobbing and a bossing option for pistols. Nice try. I would really like to, choose what kind of pistol. And I've been looking up different, Red Fang with nice top rolls, bad bottom rolls. I've been really looking for a pistol that could be like, my go-to. I was thinking, there's a few of them in the Jacobs category, but a good mobbing weapon could be something like the wagon wheel with all the different ricochets that it has. But there's a lot of very potent Jacobs pistols that I might want to give it a try, and go out farming for those as well. So I can kind of have like just a quick swap. Like this is my go-to sniper, and I go to my go-to pistol rather than having just a bunch of snipers. All right, Sandhawk me. Go. Drop some money. I like watching the bird of prey go in there and do its thing. Oh, it looks like a volcano or expert storm. Yeah. Okay. No storm for me. Move on. So the drop chances for the Sandhawk, it looks like on Mayhem 6 Plus is 16.5%. So in a little bit less than every 5 runs or so, we're supposed to see them. 1 in every 6 runs or so. We should be getting there. Okay, drop the nuke on him. Even tagging with some bullets. How about a Sandhawk, buddy? A Sandhawk with a decent anointment. Here we go. Couple drops. ASMD, a woad blocker, an elemental projector. Okay. I don't. Could try this ASMD, the rack attack crit. I don't think I'm interested. I don't think it's that great of a sniper. I'm not sure though. We should give it a chance. But I like Jacobs. Like it's hard for me to swap off of Jacobs, right? In order for me to swap off of Jacobs, it does really take a gun like the Sandhawk for me to convince me. Convince me that it's worth it. Boom. Go. Keep it simple. Just gamma burst him. No Sandhawk. Unfortunate. 16.5%. I might be getting a little bit unlucky. I mean, I did farm. I think I farmed kilovolt like hundreds of times. Try to get a perfect ×8 monarch and never got one. But I'm not necessarily looking for a perfect roll here. I'm just looking for a usable roll, something I can grab and go with. A decent anointment's really what I'm looking for more than anything. Over like a god roll. Boom, just barely caught him. Body slide, baby. Okay. Got for me. Nagata and a case are 2 legendary grenades from this one. Okay. Little Katagawa farm, I never hurt nobody. So, as I'm continuing to sip my coffee that is empty, unfortunately. Maybe I should go fill it up so I can keep the caffeine train going. Woo! Although I definitely feel it dropping off a little bit.
Glad to have you back.
Alright, let's do it. I think the last 2 episodes farming iridium only to have our iridium be kind of wasted is a bit of a brutal thing. However, we weren't farming that efficiently. We were doing slaughter shaft farming, which is not the fastest. Voracious Canopy is definitely faster. 15,000 per hour. If I spend 2 hours doing it, it's like 30,000. We could definitely do it the fastest doing it that way. But it's not something that I necessarily want to record. It could be something that I start recording on the side, but why sit there doing it by myself when I could record it and post it, you know? It's part of the journey. It's all about the journey. Give me a Sandhawk, brother, and then we can get out of here and go have some fun. Maybe hit up the Slaughter Star. The cut purse launch pad. I want one so bad. I've never had a cut purse launch pad, and it's so good at getting you back your ammo. You could just run off a railing like this or something. Like you try to get on top of a railing and then you run off. Never mind, the game is making me stuck. And slam and get all your ammo back. This is the homing melee rockets. Okay, keeping it moving. Come on, Katagawa. I understand you're stingy, you're easily one-shottable and all this stuff, but you should probably hook me up. Give me a perfect roll radiation Sandhawk with Beastmaster anointed radiation, or maybe even like a fire Sandhawk with Beastmaster radiation. Okay. Later, kid. Oh, is it here? Icebreaker rocket boots. Backham. Nemesis. And Expert Storm. Okay, we go next. Unfortunately, we're not in the market for any of those pieces here. Although the rocket boots was pretty interesting. If we're looking for that cut purse prefix, if you've got cut purse, then you can slide, and then the melee rockets will go and give you some ammo back. Not quite as good as the cut purse launch pad. It's still functional. I swear, there's never any good grenades in there. Drop it on him. Boom. Wonder what happens when you shoot all the targets in here. Anything? It just opens up this field and then it gives you some water. You flood the entire zone. Is there anything special that happens? It doesn't actually look like it. It just looks like there's a ton of explosions that actually hurt you. Wonder how they help you. Anyways, moving on. Move along like I know ya. I know you. So let's talk. Let's talk about something new. So we had a discussion videos, last couple videos. So we can get a discussion video going in this one. Right now, it's NBA season. The NBA is coming down to the wire, but my favorite team, Washington Wizards, is not in the playoffs. In fact, we had the second worst record in the NBA this season. And yet, we didn't even get a top 5 draft pick. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? You're the second worst record by 1 game, by the way. By just 1 game, you're the second worst record. And we didn't even get a top 5 draft pick. We are the 6th. We have the 6th overall pick. And it's even doubly as frustrating about having 6th overall pick, because this draft was supposed to be the one that had all the talent, right? Last draft we had the 2nd overall pick and there wasn't a whole lot of talent. People were saying this is a weak draft, We ended up getting maybe the best number 1 overall prospect in Alex Sarr. But this draft we were supposed to get, we were hoping to get the number 1 pick, get ourselves Cooper Flag, and have a decent chance at a good future. But even the second pick was something like Dylan Harper as a point guard out of Rutgers. But what we ended up getting was a 6th pick. And right now it looks like it's what people would say is a 5-player draft. So if you've ever played fantasy sports, there's always tier systems, right? Where just because 2 players are 1 pick away, so pick 1, pick 2, doesn't mean that you're getting relatively the same value, right? It's not like a flat line where the best player has most value and then it steadily goes down. No, a lot of times there's levels, there's tiers. So in the fantasy basketball season at the start of last season, Nikola Jokic and Victor Wembanyama were considered like tier 1. Like you couldn't really go wrong with either of those 2 picks, right? Those were the tier 1 picks, and then there was a drop off from about 3 to 7, or 3 to 6 and 7, right? Really it was 3 to 7 with about the same value, and then from 8 to like 13 was another tier, right? From what I'm hearing from scouts and talent analysts and draft personnel is that this NBA draft is a 5-player draft, where you have in the very top tier, you have got Cooper Flag, who's a player who's just kind of like good at everything. He's kind of like one of those winning players who he doesn't do anything poorly. He does everything well: defend, shoot, pass, dribble, decision making, awareness, deflection, steals, blocks, like everything he's good at. Is he like super amazing at any one of them? I would say the one thing he's super amazing at is awareness. He's got a great mind for where to be and what to do. But does he have like does he have like that superhuman LeBron James type build? No, but he's just a really good all-around player who definitely could be a franchise player. And there's a reason why he's a very clear number 1. The Dallas Mavericks allegedly who have the first overall pick despite having less than a 1% chance to get it. The Dallas Mavericks said that they're not trading the pick and they're taking Cooper Flag. So yeah, it seems like in tier 1 we have Cooper Flag alone. And then in tier 2, it almost seems like we have a single player in tier 2, Dylan Harper. He's not really a tier 1 Cooper Flag, but he's better than the next tier. He's better than 3, 4, and 5. So in 3, 4, and 5, we have 3 players: Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, and Trey Johnson. We have these 3 players that are kind of emerging as the main 3. Now we're going to be seeing a lot of changes. The draft is just a little under a month away. We're going to see more changes. But it seems like those are the 5 players that are going 1 through 5. And it does seem that the consensus... Oh, there's a Sandhawk. Yes. Consecutive hits, corrosive Sandhawk. Brother almighty. Let's check out the parts for this bad boy versus the parts that we can find online. Oh my goodness. Consecutive hits is a great anointment. You will not... Oh wait, get this out of here. Feature of the night later. You will not catch me complaining about that. Consecutive hits. Let's go ahead and check out these parts. So, parts. Let's see. Body, it's 2 to 3. We got all 3 perfect. Barrel, it's 2 to 3. We got all 3 perfect. Magazine, we got the damage mag. Great. Grip, unfortunately, we got the reload time grip. And accuracy, this could have been both damage and crit. But most of the rolls for this bad boy for grip aren't so great. Reload time and accuracy is, I would say, second or third best. Probably third best, but nowhere near perfect. Foregrip is perfect. We got the damage roll on foregrip. Bolt is actually weapon sway or reload speed. We got weapon sway, which it could have been reload speed, which could have been a little bit better. And then element is corrosive, which is decent on flak. You know what? Let's go ahead and slap this bad boy on and go have some fun and go set up maybe a Slaughter Star 3000. How much time do we have? This episode, we're at 30 minutes in. Let's go ahead and start up a Slaughter Star 3000 utilizing the Sandhawk. But we don't have a build quite ready for it. Let's go ahead and set up a build that allows us to use the Sandhawk with best effect. Probably going to be running something like a doll company man over a toboggan. Maybe a toboggan could be really good. But yeah, Revolter is going to be the best because although we do have an old god, and a bounty hunter would be pretty good too. But let's go ahead and hit up Sanctuary. We get ourselves a corrosive Sandhawk, which is probably the best overall element. Let's go ahead and hit up Sanctuary. Get a respec that doesn't involve Two Fang, because the Sandhawk doesn't really want Two Fang. Two Fang is more of a skill that you use when you don't have a lot of pellets, single pellet weapons. But Sandhawk has 7 pellets, so we're really looking for something else. No, that's not Two Fang. So go ahead and respec and set up our Two Fang build. First things first, I'm the realist. Or set up a non-Two Fang build. So Interplanetary Stalker for the bonus corrosive damage is an absolute must. This tree is really nice. Let's do critical hit, and then we can put points into second intention. That juicy reload speed. There you go. Now let's go down the middle tree. Eager to impress. Lick the wounds. I think fire rate is important with the Sandhawk. I don't know how important if we're rocking semi-automatic. Right, so maybe we take a little bit of health regen. Fast and the Furious. Hidden Machine. Rage and Recover for 1. Rage and Recover for 2. And then the power inside. Okay, nice. So, do we want to go down middle tree? Yes, because I think we want to still rock Red Fang Gamma Burst action. So let's go with something like this. Frenzy. And then that's all we're going to want there. I think what we do now is take reload speed from here. 5 points in it. 1 point in shared HP regen. And then I think we're pretty much done here. Let's take Rage and Recover for more. Okay. This looks okay. We're going to rock the Sandhawk, unlock my action skill. Let's go for Gamma Burst with these 2 augments. And our pet is going to be the Great Horn Skag Pet. And we're going to be rocking this corrosive Sandhawk. We're going to have Revolter for shock. And we're going to have this Power Jacker Frag Grenade for Incendiary. Let's get out there. Slaughter Star 3000. Let's do a run as fast as we can, and just hope that we get the nice drop. This does take a little bit to get set up. Should find some good success with the Sandhawk in semi-automatic mode. If we find ourselves in a bit of a sticky situation with our snipers, we always have. And actually, I want to go grab my doll company man from Sanctuary as well. We can always swap over to a Vladoff. This build's going to work decently well with our Vladoff weapons. Very corrosive heavy, so I'm pretty confident. Pretty confident that we're going to be okay here. Should we instead put on an old god over a Revolter? I'm going to say yeah. Old god over Revolter, and that means we want bonus radiation or shock. Let's take not bonus corrosive. Do bonus shock for people's shields. And then a doll company man. Let's grab that. And then we'll be on our way. Doll company man. Or fire rate, critical hit damage, and damage magazine size fight for your life duration. Whoa, that's pretty good. Let's go. Slaughter Star me. So we're going to be rocking the Red Fang to keep enemies off of us. And, cruising through the Slaughter Star 3000. We're at 35 minutes. Let's cruise. Alright, so this is for a chance at Lucian's Call, Corrosive, max damage. This is a chance at the Cut Purse Launchpad, which will probably be needed for this Sandhawk usage, or a Rocket Boots Launchpad for different kinds of ammo regeneration. So activate this bad boy. We're gonna get Gamma Burst active. Our class mod is the Red Fang to pull enemies off of us. We got a lot of corrosive stuff going. Cryo as well. Shock. Let's do it.
Yes, to the bloodletting.
Once we get Gamma Burst down, enemies should start targeting Pet. And let's get going. Go, consecutive hits.
The thrill of the hunt.
It consumes 3 ammo per shot, so I really want to be... Oh, ouch. I really want to be aiming smartly here. Let's keep Pet away from me and I should be okay. 3 ammo per shot is ridiculous. Go. If you want to rock 6 ammo per shot or 3 ammo per shot, you're gonna have to have like a launch pad. It's too much. Look at how many shots it takes for me to kill them without crits. You know. Yeah. I don't know if we're definitely not gonna have enough ammo for this. It's really, the projectiles are pretty slow moving, to be honest with you. I don't know if you can get faster moving projectiles. Damage doesn't seem like it's... I mean, the damage I'm sure is really good. But the projectiles don't seem to be moving that quick. Let's use it for a little while, give it a chance, see if we can get it into our groove with it. But the thing is, we're already out of blammo. That's why we need a Cut Purse Launchpad in the first place. Bad, yeah. Definitely, we're already at, like, no ammunition. There's no way we're going to be able to push through this. With the current stuff that we got going now. Maybe we should put on, like, a Vladov Company Man. And go Lucian's Call Corrosive. With Rack Attack? Wish it wasn't a Rack Attack. Maybe I could go... I think I have my Monarch in here somewhere. Yeah. What a Reflux. And we go Flesh Melter Auto Idol with a Reflux. Okay. That should help us out. Unfortunately, while the Sandhawk is a really nice option, it just burns through ammo ridiculously. Need to get some chains going. The Gamma Burst back up. There we go. That will give us the... Get rid of all that pressure that's on us right now. And the Flesh Melter will start kicking in once we get a few kills. Go. Interplanetary Stalker helping us out quite a bit with this corrosive damage. Nice. We're cryoed, but that's okay. Poor Sandhawk. This takes up too much ammo. That's its only problem. If I had a Cut Purse Launchpad, then I wouldn't be too afraid about it. Then I could just slap it on and get it all back. But you just don't. Even the final SDU for snipers isn't enough in this game. Although it does put a lot of emphasis on like single pellet snipers, which I can get behind because I love single pellet snipers. Okay, those chains going, critical hit chains. Oh yeah, their Gamma Burst up and running again. Gamma Burst me. Everybody looking at Pet. There we go. That Flesh Melter auto idol, not only does it heal us up, but it gives us that stacking corrosive power. on kill. So we have to keep the kills going in order to keep it functioning, but usually that's not a problem unless these guys fly around like crazy. There we go. Too much ammunition on just one lad, unfortunately. Pick up this shotgun on the small map. Yep. Give me some of that ammo. Like even like we've been at this for how long and we still haven't gotten by the first round, right? So that's just this one takes a lot longer.
Oh boy, eat them alive.
Okay. You don't? Yeah, these guys are tough. Maybe I should swap over to a Sandhawk. Yeah. You don't? Light show is not so great from longer ranges against small targets because it's the circle spread. I have to get up people's faces with it a little bit. Once you do, it should be fine here. The 1-2 buck on my shoe. The enemies just spawn in so many different places in this map. It just takes forever. Like, even if you had like the Iron Bear setup that I've had the last few videos, I think it would still take a while. This is a fadeaway active light show, unfortunately, so it's not going to have the best damage. Not better than this reflex, I don't think. Go. Gotcha. Go pet, go pet, go. Keep my consecutive hits active. Oh, ledgy. Super 10 gallon, okay. Alright, let's grab our Sandhawk and see if we can use it against this laddie. Go. Okay. Gamma burst right on top of these lads. Because you don't cycle Gamma Burst as much as the other action skills, I tend to not want to use Revolter. Instead, just use Old God or something like that. And if I was using single pellet weapons, I would also be running the Infernal Wish. But because this shotgun is times 14, I don't mind skipping Two Fang. This should be the last couple of enemies here. Maybe even the last one. Yeah, there we go. That's all of our ammo as well. Our shotgun was down to just a couple bullets. Yeah. Fadeaway active, consecutive hits, consecutive hits. Back attack, fadeaway active. I've got a lot of fadeaway active stuff. I could rock single pellet snipers for fun again, but the thing is I don't have Two Fang, so everything else is fadeaway active. Maybe a OPQ system could be fun. Oh, I had on toboggan this whole time. The flesh melter auto out there. Oopsie daisy.
Expect you for weak points? We may never know.
Okay, let's go. Get our ammo back. And start up the next round. Where's the ammo? Oh, it's around the corner. All right. 43 minutes in. I don't think we're gonna be going the whole way here. I just wanted to try out the Sandhawk. And then maybe in the next video we do like a full official run of this with our Jacob snipers. But I need to get Iridium is the biggest problem I'm having. Iridium to re-roll some of the guns that I've got. And where we are at as far as vault cards, yeah, we're still pretty far. Okay. And it looks like the challenges have changed. The vault cards, unless I have the wrong one active. No, it's still Bird of Prey. Arcades, Jabbers, yeah, this. I think that we've. What if I'm gonna open up these chests? What if I get a 2 times 3s? Oh, a times 2? Times 3, times 3, times 3, times 3. Oh my gosh, give me another Bird of Prey. Hey, come on. Perfect parts, perfect parts, perfect parts, perfect parts. Bird of Prey, 111,000 damage. Not the best Not the best anointment, but let's check out these parts. 3 bodies. It always comes through 3 barrels. Is really nice. The medium magazine, a damage bolt. Let's go look at online to see what the parts are. Perfect. I know the barrel is what you're looking at. Okay, so parts. Scope. Let's take a look at that scope. The scope is critical hit damage. Okay, that's the best one. Yes, the best one. Stock. Magazine size. Accuracy bloom with weapon sway. Let's see. Mag size. I would say this is probably second or third best. Foregrip is reload time and fire rate. I would have loved to see crit damage there, but unfortunately we didn't get it. But this is not a bad bird of prey. It's really not a bad bird of prey. I can do 1 reroll of it. I think if I do 1 reroll, I think you'll get a little bit lucky. I can't believe we actually got that vault card with 2. We got 1 key to give us 2 and another key to give us 3. Wow. That was pretty lucky. Let's go hit up 1 reroll and see how lucky we get. Please. I would love a second bird of prey with something like fadeaway active on it. Let's compare arts with our 111,000 damage one here. I think they're going to be pretty similar. 3 barrels and the different scope. This one has the better stock. Critical hit damage stock and a bad foregrip. So they could both be better for sure. 1 reroll for the lads. A reroll and a dream. Give me my bird of prey. Not that one. This one. Ooh, elemental crits. Not the best option for a gun that's not elemental at all, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, our guns still require some anointment rerolling. And you know what? We still have 13 minutes. Let's go ahead and get our iridium farming build back up and running. Let's do EMP5 out here with the Creech for URAD. Then it's going to be the Deathless. Cryostone Deathless. Then it's Revolter. And then let's make sure that we have a different element. Corrosive, I think, is going to be fine. So it's Shock, Corrosive, Cryo, Radiation. And then our action skill, I like Rack Attack. And pet is going to be Jabber. Okay. This looks like it's going to be good to go. Yep. Okay, let's head to the Voracious Canopy. We need to farm up some Iridium. We got some birds of prey that need some anointment rerolls. Although I would like some better rolls at the bird of prey. This is my 3rd roll. For all of them have had 111,000 damage, which I can't really complain too much, but it's just a little bit unfortunate. Let's go ahead and farm up some Iridium. Go to the Voracious Canopy. Do it now because all of my characters are out of Iridium, and it's like the worst feeling when you can't reroll anointments if you wanted to. Yeah, let's go. It's pretty easy to get there. All you gotta do is run up here, like from the start, and head towards the left. See the sign? Head towards the warning sign. Just keep out. Don't worry about that. Walk forward. Okay. We have a whole bunch of elements on our melee attacks. Once we get our action skill N going, tag this. Activate our action skill. And now it's time to really farm it up. The old-fashioned way. Finish the top. Finish that top cliff. Jump down. After you finish the top cliff, throw an action skill out. There we go. Each run is a reroll, basically. All right, let's go again. I don't think we can add any other elements to our farming here. I think this is all we can do, which is okay. It's fine. Okay. I guess okay. I'll go back to what I was talking about. So,
Distract them.
unfortunately for the Wizards in this upcoming draft, it seems like pick number 6 is the start of a new tier, where 1 has their own tier, 2 has its own tier, and then 3 has its own tier, and then pick 6 is the start of a new tier, and it's kind of a big drop off. Now, the NBA's draft is not based on... I'm not getting as much Iridium as I usually do. Maybe I'm messing something up. NBA's draft is based on a lottery. So if you're a team that doesn't make the playoffs, you immediately get thrown into a lottery. And the worse your record, the better your chances at the higher positions, except for the number 1 pick. The number 1 pick, actually, its odds are shared amongst a bunch of different teams. Pick number 1 is very contested, regardless of how bad of a record you have. In fact, the max odds you can get at pick number 1 is 14%. And the craziest thing to me is, if you're the team with the worst record in the NBA, I believe the most likely outcome for you to get is the 5th pick. Now, you have better odds than everyone else at the 2nd pick. You got better odds than everyone else at the 3rd pick, and I think in the 4th pick. But the number 1 most likely outcome for the team with the worst record is pick number 5. I know for a fact that the most likely outcome for the team with the 2nd worst record is pick number 6. It was somewhere in the 20% range, but that percentage was the highest percentage of any of the picks. Now, you can't get below pick 6. If you have the 2nd worst record as of right now, if you have the 2nd worst record, you can't get below pick 6. But pick 6 is your highest chance. It's kind of insane. Like, 2nd worst record, and every team picking before us, except for the Jazz, did better than us last year. Every single team. For the Jazz have 5 teams picking or 4 teams picking before them. All 4 of them had a better record. It's kind of insane. I'm gonna check to make sure that this is functioning properly, because I don't have as much Iridium as I thought I might. This many runs?
Let's hunt.
We're at 781. Is that because I don't have my URAD going? Yeah, I didn't have URAD out. Oops, daisy going crazy. I had my EMP5 out. So let's get URAD going. That should help us out a lot.
I believe I can break this down. I cannot break through that.
Farming better Iridium. I knew something was up. 53 minutes. Okay. I like to make these an hour long. Farm up Iridium for a little while. There we go. That's better. Right, around 250 per run. So 1 run equals 1 reroll. Very, very nice. And I would love to get Gamma Burst active radiation damage on my Unseen Threat and Fade Away active on a Bird of Prey. Let's do it. Down.
Time to crack you open.
You. Slap you. Where you at? Right there. In the corner.
I cannot break through that.
Let's activate our action skill so we can make sure we get that bonus element. Bonus elements. Plural. Nice. Okay. Very, very good. So it's the NBA is so weird. It's so weird how that functions. And this was because there's been so many of the good teams moving up in the draft. By good teams I mean teams with better records, like getting better picks in the draft. People are starting to really discuss, like, we should rework this. Like, this isn't right. The whole idea of the lottery is to discourage tanking, is to discourage losing on purpose to get better draft picks. And the reason that it's like a really big problem in the NBA was like, what do other sports do? Why don't other sports have tanking problems? Well, Like in the NFL, for instance, in the NFL, the team with the worst record gets the #1 pick, and it literally goes in order. If you win the Super Bowl, you get the last pick. So why is this an issue in the NFL? Well, one, we don't know if it actually is or not, but the main reason is because one player on a basketball court has so much more influence than one player on the football field. Well, you could say, like, what about a quarterback? Yes, a quarterback. If you have a quarterback, then yeah, there's only one football, and they have their ball in their hands for a lot of it. But he's still only one of 11 players on the field, right? In basketball, guess what? The same thing. There's only one ball. There's only 5 players on the court. One player has so much more impact. Each player is basically a quarterback in the NBA. So just one player can have so much impact that it's way more beneficial to tank in the NBA to get that one-star player. I'm sure there's tanking going on in all sports, but in the NBA it's just so prevalent because of how beneficial it is to get just that one good player, right? So if you just have one good player, it's like that's all you really need. Then you just need supplemental pieces around it. It's traditionally how people think about it is fill out your team with a bunch of good defenders and shooters, and then have one star player that can initiate your offense. That is kind of the style, and hope that your star player can not be a liability on defense. So the Wizards right now, we are looking for our star player. Now we have Jordan Poole. But Jordan Poole is, one, not the greatest defender, and two, he is entering his prime now, when the rest of our team is a bunch of like really young guns, like 19, 20 years old. I think Poole's like 26, 27, 28, something like that. So Poole is entering his prime. By the time our other players enter their prime, Poole will be on the back end of his prime. Now you can like you can make that work for a few years a lot of the time. I think like you can have a good run at it. But what you really want is everybody in their prime, because that way when it comes down to paying everybody, when it comes time to pay the 19 and 20-year-olds now they're on their rookie contracts, you don't have a giant contract of Jordan Poole bogging that down, right? So you can re-sign all your young players who are going into their primes together. You can create a team that way. It's a big reason why people are kind of calling for like, why not just trade Jordan Poole while he's got peak value? And you know what? Something to be said for that. I think there definitely is. Like, Jordan Poole had a great season last season. He's a lot older than the rest of the team. Let's trade him to get more draft capital. And that's what we did with Denny Avdia last season, when everyone was like, why trade Denny? Why'd you trade Denny? Like, it was because, well, Denny's is slightly older, and we want more draft assets because, well, we need, as Will Dawkins says, the general manager of the Wizards, we need as many bites of the apple as we can. The apple being the talent pool that comes into the NBA draft. So trading everything for draft assets is a strategy as old as time from organizations. It's how it actually takes effect with each individual team. That's pretty interesting, right? How does each individual team go about that? Because every situation is different. Who are your stars now? How do you go about trading them? When do you pull the trigger on a trade? When do you sign somebody? When do you release somebody? It's always different, always new. Because there's such a human element to it. These are all human beings, that there's so much variance that it's really fun to follow. It's like, will the Wizards trade Jordan Poole to look for a star in the draft, or will they keep Jordan Poole and try to get supplemental pieces from the draft? Because Poole is very much so like a I have the ball style player. You know, he likes to dribble, he likes to do step back threes, he likes to beat players one-on-one. He does pass, but he's definitely more of a score first player. And I'm not against a score first player being the best player on my team whatsoever. In fact, I kind of, want that. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Jordan Poole. We'll see what happens with the Wizards, but that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. We had a fun time spending our keys on 2 birds of prey that had decent parts, not perfect parts, but we did get bit by this bit by the harsh sting of the Iridium Reroller, right? It's one of the biggest complaints people have about Borderlands 3 is the Iridium Reroller, but it keeps the game relatively balanced. Like you have to, even if you have these great Iridium farming methods, you can't just get the weapon you want right away. You have to, unless you get crazy lucky with your anointment, you're gonna have to spend the Iridium. So I'm gonna keep farming Iridium for a while here, and what I might do is farm some Iridium on the side while I, work on whatever, or maybe I'll just hit record and go right back into it. More Iridium farming the better, and we can keep going with discussion topics because there's plenty of things to discuss. Trust me. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.